Happening right now, U.S. President Donald Trump is meeting with Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelenskyy, trying to make headway on a deal to end the conflict between Ukraine and Russia.
I do believe that we have the makings of a deal. It's good for Ukraine, good for everybody. It's very important. There's nothing more important in my book. We settled 8 wars, and this is the most difficult one. I thought it would be in the middle of the pack. This is the most difficult one, but we're going to get it done. We're going to have a great meeting today. This gentleman has worked very hard, and he's very brave, and his people are very brave. I mean, what they've gone through, no nation, very rarely has a nation ever had it.
A couple of more notes from that meeting. Right before the meeting there, Trump says he believes Russian President Vladimir Putin is serious about Zelensky's 20-point plan for peace. And Trump says he'll be calling Putin right after this meeting with Zelenskyy. Trump also says there's a great economic benefit for Ukraine to discuss with the need to rebuild in the country.
We talk about our teams. They work on 20 points plan. Then they worked on prosperity and security document. And 20 points plan is very important. We have to discuss and sequencing. It's very important. Our teams talked about strategy, how to make step by step and to bring this closer, and we will discuss this strategy. We will speak about 20 points plan. There in 20 points plan, 90% by the way was done by our 2 teams.
With me now is Christian Leuprecht, military expert and professor at the Royal Military College at Queen's University. Christian, welcome back. It's good to have you as we dive into what's happening this weekend in Florida with that conversation between Presidents Trump and Zelenskyy. What do you make of the tone that we heard? It seemed a little bit, on the optimistic side, for sure, about being near the finish line here.
Well, but Trump also sort of walked back some of that optimism by either saying that there'll be a settlement or the war will go on for a long time. So I think everybody realized this is difficult because nobody really knows whether Putin is serious about trying to find some sort of negotiated settlement or whether he's just stringing Trump along to keep Trump happy, and that this is simply part of his objective to draw things out. And so you can see 2 different approaches shaking out. On the one hand, what I would call sort of a ceasefire agreement that might be somewhat sustainable, and on the other hand, European, Canadian, other allied support for Ukraine for the next 2 years to make sure Ukraine has a strong negotiating position.
And talk to us and remind our viewers once again, Christian, about the U.S. role in all of this, because we've heard a lot about this coalition for the willing, coalition of the willing, I should say, that group of countries and all of the ideas they're suggesting in this conversation that's being sort of brokered by the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, as we know, so Trump pulled back from providing military support and providing financial support. He did, for instance, increase sanctions on Russia in the fall, which meant that Russia has to sell its oil at a further discount. So this is putting further pressure on the Russian economy. But Trump is also positioning himself as the only person who can really broker a ceasefire deal in this and in other conflicts, and asserting U.S. interests in the process. And we can see this by the fact that there are other people in the room, including the Ukrainian economic minister. So this is not just about a ceasefire settlement. It is also about the future economic prospects with Ukraine. And so there's 2 negotiations, effectively a security negotiation and economic negotiation going on in parallel.
Christian, I guess there are sort of 2 next steps, too, that we're waiting for here. First of all, we've got to find out what comes out of this meeting with Trump and Zelenskyy this afternoon and what they have to say. But then Trump says he's going to be calling Putin after that. And, of course, we have to find out what Vladimir Putin thinks of all this.
Yeah, we also must remember, of course, that there's other key partners. So the meeting with Prime Minister Carney yesterday, the full support from members of NATO, from the President of the European Commission, the President of the European Council, key European leaders, including Friedrich Merz, everybody using that same formulation of a just and lasting peace that preserves Ukrainian sovereignty and territorial integrity. So it is not just about Putin. Europe also is making clear it has a stake in this, and that it is prepared to continue to support Ukraine regardless of the outcome of this particular meeting. And that, of course, is a significant shift from where we were early in 2025.
Christian, given all those voices at the table, what could be the best possible outcome of this meeting today between Trump and Zelenskyy?
Continued further talks. These, I think, will be difficult to resolve the final issues with regards to territory security guarantees. It looks like there might be some sort of deal on the table with European Union soldiers, so not NATO soldiers. And of course, then what does the economic aid package for both Ukraine look like, and also for Russia, because the United States is using these negotiations to try to pry Russia away from China and is trying to normalize relations with Russia, which of course is not how European leaders are looking at this. So I am cautiously optimistic.
Okay, Christian Leuprecht, military expert and professor at RMC at Queen's University in Kingston. Always appreciate you helping us look at the big picture here, Kristen. Thank you.